Hello.
Hey, hey, what's going on?
Hey, how have you been?
Pretty good, pretty good.
That's good. Well, welcome to the show. This is your second time on with me. I'm glad you're
Yeah,
interested in coming back.
yeah, of course. Thanks for having me.
I thought we had a good time the first time, a really nice conversation. So, where are you calling from?
Actually calling from the back of the bus right now. We're heading to Bakersfield for a show this evening. We played LA last night and playing the world records tonight.
The World Records?
Yeah, world records in Bakersfield. It's an old school music venue. We've
Oh,
done it a few
okay.
times.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Yeah, I figured you'd be on the road, and in fact, the venue had asked me how the interview went today. The Fallsview Casino, and I said, well, the that didn't happen yet because we're on Pacific Standard Time. So
hmm
let me know later. But yeah, so welcome to Blizzard of Blues Radio, Samantha Fish, WBLZ. It's Tommy Z here, and I know our listeners are going to be delighted to have you on to hear from you because, as I had said to you in the past, they love to get their fish fix.
Oh, well, let's give it to them.
It sounds good. So you're coming to our area again, the Western New York. Actually, this is going to be considered Southern Ontario because in Canada, you're going to be coming to the Niagara Falls Fallsview Casino on a package with Kenny Wayne Shepherd on October 7th. And man, what a beautiful venue this is. This is my new favorite venue. In case you're
Really?
interested. This place is great. I mean, there isn't a bad seat in the house. I think the furthest seat and from anywhere is from the stage is like 150 feet, but it's still big. It's got a nice big array sound, and you're just going to look and sound great there.
Oh, wow. Well, that's awesome. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. And you've also got a new album coming out on Rounder Records on May 19th with Jesse Dayton, and it's called Death Wish Blues. Now, I got to tell you, I was not familiar with Jesse until this pairing occurred. So, tell us a little bit about the album and Jesse, perhaps.
Yeah, so the album it's out now, and and I recorded there last summer, and John Spencer from his various projects and things from like the John Spencer Blues Explosion, he produced the record, and yeah, we went to New. We actually did it in Woodstock, New York. That's where we ended up recording the album, and I don't know. I'm incredibly proud of it. You know, for me and Jesse, we're both solo artists in our own right. We both have kind of, we've established ourselves within our genres and kind of have our own sound. So when we came together to do this project, we wanted to, create something kind of unique and different for both of us. And I think we definitely established that. The record's very rock and roll, and it's really fun, and just, it kind of takes you on a journey. And
Yeah. Yep.
I was just saying, I've known Jesse for about 12 years. And when we talked, we started talking about this collaboration about a year ago, over a year
Okay.
ago.
Well, so it's not coming out on May 19th. This is already out. So I'd heard a couple of singles already, and two of that I'm familiar with are Riders and Death Wish Blues. Now, Rider to me, just listening to the lyrics, initially I got the personification of a couple of personalities or people, but with the names of states or cities, like, hey New York or hey Alabama. You're addressing one another in this sort of relationship duet.
Yeah, I mean, that song specifically, I mean, we sort of wrote it from the perspective of being these traveling musicians who, we sort of do these like one night hits in these places. And, so we're personifying the cities and, the states and all that. You got that right. But when you're traveling and you're touring, it's like you live in your own little bubble. It's like your little universe with your band. And Jesse and I were getting ready to embark on this journey together. So it's just kind of a song about us and hitting these different places and being in and out. And yeah, but you're in it with your partner, your writing partner, and that's him and I in the song. Yeah.
And as far as Death Wish Blues, when I heard that, um, the opening riff reminded me of Last Dance with Mary Jane by Tom Petty.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
check it out sometime. And
I
then
mean, I'm very familiar with the song. I've just never thought about those two together. That's interesting. I love that, man. I love how people hear music and you make these connections. It's kind of cool.
yeah, I mean, melodically, it might not be harmonized the same way that they did. They might have done it in more of like that blues bend where you harmonize the G and B strings together as a bend. But that riff was very similar. But I love the fact that that these melodies like can exist and function, and then take it gets your attention, and all of a sudden you take them somewhere else with something new.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And in our last interview, you mentioned getting, inspired for a new album. You kind of wanted to give yourself a little time to detach from Faster sonically, and then, you were starting to get some new um, inspirations for another album. How's that process coming along?
Well, that ended up being, the next record that came out was Death Wish, and so that was the record I wrote after Faster, and so now it's like I'm kind of back in the process of okay, what's coming now after Death Wish, and um,
Okay.
I don't know, you kind of have to live a little bit and you know get inspired again, and I'm actually currently out on a tour called the Love Letters tour, which is what I'm going to be bringing to Ontario. And it's a solo tour, but I'm sort of revisiting, some older material and just stuff through my catalog. And it's funny, we've been out here for about a week now doing it, and it's been really nice to get to reimagine and rehash these songs. But it's kind of sparked the desire in me to write something new, which is kind of like it's just part of the natural cycle. So, I don't know exactly what that's going to look like because it's just not, it doesn't have a shape yet, but that there's always something on the horizon, right?
Yeah, I can really relate to that because, I'm also, as you know, I'm also an artist and I put out a bunch of albums and, I've done some festivals this summer and I'm playing the Niagara Falls Blues Festival on Saturday. And, Shamika and a bunch of other great artists are also on the schedule. And I'm, thinking about the set list and stuff like that. And I'm just, I do kind of a greatest hits sort of approach to the songs from various albums that that I like and people like. But I feel like like after this summer, like I'm itching to get some new material in there. And it's not that I don't like the old material, and I've talked to some other artists about this. It's just because it's what the audience wants to hear a lot of the time. But at the same time, you're up there singing them, and you've just done it so many times that you just kind of crave the new also.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's definitely a delicate balance to it, and I've learned over the years of, trial and error, like giving people what they want and then giving people nothing that they want and trying to do exactly what you want. There really is a delicate balance to pleasing the audience, but also pleasing yourself. And, but I always feel like if I feel fulfilled musically, I have a better chance of that translating positively to an audience than if I'm up there just like going through the motions and you know and I feel like for me happiness and sustained happiness comes from musical exploration and creating something new. So I have to figure out a way to like to balance it, give people what they want, some of the old stuff that they like and they're familiar with, that that means something to them, but also challenge yourself and grow and do different things.
Well, you definitely do that, and I love how committed you are to both the artistic and perceivably the business aspect too, because you don't seem like a person who is distracted and just not laser focused on your performance and your career.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't mean to draw an unfair contrast, but just to bring up something a little different. I saw that this week that Amy Winehouse would have turned 40. Somebody else
Yeah.
who shares that retro cool vibe that you have, in terms of her visual presentation. Tragic. I was a huge fan. I miss her and her music. It was just incredible. But
She's
there's
a beautiful soul, man. The world misses her. She definitely left a void.
for sure.
She left a void. Yeah.
And her guitar playing doesn't get much credit because, she was a Strat player. She played a lot of the guitar on her early stuff.
Yeah, I remember seeing her like in her younger days playing more guitar, and it seemed like, towards the more well-known portion of her career, she took center stage and, became a hell of an entertainer, And I
Yeah.
think that's kind of common sometimes, especially in the pop world too. Sometimes the guitar seems like a hindrance for entertainment, or whatever. But she definitely could play, and she sang like nobody else.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of my favorites, and I'm sure yours as well. Well, let's talk about guitars for a second. Well, just to kind of summarize what you just said there, I think you're right though. There is a point when an instrumentalist is trying to sing where you could be using too much CPU, figuratively speaking, and you're not giving maybe the 100% to the vocal that you could be, or to the guitar, or whatever it is that you're playing. And I've experienced that myself, where if I just let the guitar down for a second and focus on singing, I might give a better performance, in this particular spot of the song, you know.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. And honestly, I'm speculating about the Amy thing. I don't really know why she put it down like more and more later on, but I do know, for me personally, I don't I've gone on stage as just a guitar player who's not singing, in jam situations, and that's totally different. But going up there just singing without the guitar, I feel like I don't know. I don't know what to do with my hands. I feel like the guitar is such a defining factor of my performance and my, the way I entertain. It's like it's just it's weird for me to be without it. Um, and there's plenty of entertainers who, like I don't know, Prince comes to mind, somebody who entertained just as much with or without the guitar, and that was such a
Yeah,
part of like his show. I there are artists out there who, that's such a defining characteristic you know, of their legacy and their art that,
yeah.
it's just a
Well,
part of it.
let's
It's
talk about
intertwined
one.
with everything.
Yeah, well, let's talk about one of them, because how exciting is it to be on the bill at Eric Clapton's Crossroads Festival?
I mean, it's incredible, man. I'm really, really looking forward to it. It's like, it's something I've been looking at that event for years and years and years, and just like, man, if they ever could bring it back, I would just love to get invited. And I got my manager got an email uh from Eric and asked if I'd be a part of it, and I thought that was just super super cool. And yeah, I mean, it's an honor. It's like it's definitely like a pat on the back, and for me, it makes me feel like I'm doing something right and heading in the right direction because it's a big deal.
Absolutely. You are totally doing something right, Samantha, and don't ever think anything to the contrary. Um, and this package with you and Kenny Wayne Shepherd in Niagara Falls, on October 7th is really strong. I think it's really got a nice balance and foil to it. And I know I'm looking forward to it myself.
Well, yeah, me too. I always enjoy getting to do shows with Kenny Wayne. I mean, he's really just like an incredible performer and entertainer, and their whole crew and the whole team is just super professional, and they put on like one of the best entertaining shows, in our genre. So I'm honored to be a part of the bill. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, I'm hoping to be there. I have to play a fall festival in Ellicottville earlier in the day. It's a noon show, but if I can get out of there in time, but with the traffic and stuff, I might be able to make the show and hopefully get to see you and enjoy the show.
Yeah, cool. Well, good luck at your show.
Thanks a lot, Samantha. Thanks for coming on, and let's keep in touch.
Right on. Thank you so much, Tommy. It was good to hear from you again, and good luck out there.
Okay, you too. Bye bye.
All right. Bye.